I don't know about you, but I'm a really huge documentary watcher. I'll watch a documentary on anything as long as I can gain some perspective on an issue or an event or a thing. Well, today I'm pleased to welcome a Canadian filmmaker who produces and directs documentaries and films, generally with a Canadian focus. And his films go where most other filmmakers don't. He tackles the so called controversial issues. Kevin Dunn is president of Dunn Media and Entertainment. He's an international speaker and filmmaker. And some of his films include Fatal Flaws and Euthanasia Deception. And they've explored the impact euthanasia laws globally and provide context for Canadians concerned about our own euthanasia laws. But he's now working on a new project, RoeCanada, which delves into the post Roe v. Wade overturn in the US and what that could mean for abortion laws here in Canada. The film follows two young pro life activists and their mission. And joining me now is one of these women, Josie Luetke, principal investigator for the film, and as well as Kevin Dunn, the producer and director. Kevin, Josie, thank you so
Great to
much
be
for
here.
joining me today. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, so we'll
Great to
start.
be here.
Thank you, Kevin. So we'll start with you. So you produce some very interesting work. We've actually worked a little bit together in the past. Mostly, your films have sort of a pro-life theme. What led you to this type of work?
Well, I see what's happening in our country. I think, it could be called pro-life work. I think it's just pro-societal work. We are in a situation where um, this idea of autonomy, this idea of autonomy without regard for societal influence has become paramount, and we really need to tap into these issues to talk to get the discussion going. Right now, we live in a society where discussion just doesn't seem to be happening. It's
Mhm.
more of a cancel, like it just don't want to have that discussion. I see films as a catalyst for social change, for the opportunity to open the discussion on these issues like abortion, like euthanasia that we are facing in this country, and Canada seems to be at the forefront on both of these, not so much in a positive way, but in a negative way. And these films allow opportunity for discussion to happen, and that is my goal. Get the discussion happening.
Yeah, and it seems that there are Canadians who want this discussion to happen. Heck, even recently, the Quebec government has kind of raised alarm bells about its skyrocketing rates with MAID, medical assistance in dying, with their euthanasia program. They're wondering if they should kind of put the brakes on it because some people who apparently are getting euthanasia shouldn't be and are kind of anyways, it's just not, I guess, working out how they thought it would. What do you hope that films like Fatal Flaws, like Euthanasia Deception, specific to the euthanasia issue, what do you hope? What kind of light do you hope that they will shed on that issue?
Well, as a filmmaker, I like to tell stories. I mean, that's really what we're about. We're about as Canadians. We're about a society. We each have our own story to share. And when I saw stories like Candace Lewis out of Newfoundland, a young woman with cerebral palsy and a number of other medical issues, being offered euthanasia, being offered medical aid in dying as a treatment option. And this was way back in 2018. That was the alarm bell that went off for me. It was here we have a young woman who's living with her disability, happy. Obviously not the best circumstances. Mom and her spent a lot of time in hospital, but the most lovely people you'd ever want to meet in Newfoundland. And here we have them at one of their worst moments. At one of their worst moments, as one of Canada's worst moments, and her mom, uh, doctor enters the room and says, Mom, what about medical aid in dying? She's here a lot at the hospital. Life would be better for you. And Candace' mom, Sheila, says, no way. What are you doing introducing this I'm trying to give my child hope. And here you're offering her death. This type of thing seems to be happening more and more. maybe not overtly, but in those hospital rooms, in those quiet moments where have you ever considered this? And we see it on a national stage. We see it with even recently with Christine Gaucher, a veteran of this country, who was simply looking for supports, but instead of supports for her disability, she was offered MAID,
Okay, I'm
according
going to pause you there.
according to her.
We've got to cut to commercial break. We'll be right back.